You Daryl progressive.
Mate, just chill, okay? Just chill.
I see what I'm seeing.
Reddit user Jacob Abraham was outdoors and off the trail when he saw a large animal far away. At first, he thought it might be a bear, so he started recording it on his phone.
What the hell?
While filming, he noticed that the way it moved and looked didn't seem exactly like a bear. Since he couldn't figure out what it was, he showed the video to a friend, who told him to post it online and ask others what they thought. Some people said it looked like a hunter, while others believed it could be Bigfoot, because apparently, nature wasn't mysterious enough already. This footage captures a strange sound deep in the woods. It is not exactly a growl, howl, or roar, but something in between. The sound is deep, heavy, and almost primal, making it seem like it came from something large. The hiker who recorded it believes it could be Bigfoot. While walking through the forest, the calm atmosphere was suddenly broken by the eerie cry. Whether it really came from Bigfoot, an unknown animal, or something else remains unclear. A trail cam owner in Washington shared his footage after spotting something strange in it. The video shows a dense forest at night, and moments later, a huge figure appears to walk between the trees on two legs. It's covered in dark fur, blending into the darkness, but its outline looks a lot like Bigfoot. Whether it's actually Bigfoot or something else is still unclear. An Australian man was jogging in the morning when he spotted a strange creature lying on the ground, because apparently, morning runs needed nightmare fuel.
Hey, what is that? Like legit?
It had a huge head, a long tail, tiny black eyes, and semi-transparent skin, making it look like some undeveloped sea creature washed onto land. Even scientists reportedly couldn't identify it from the footage, leaving people guessing what this weird thing could be. This footage starts out in the middle of lush woods and open meadows, where the person recording comes across a strange shelter-like structure made of branches that does not seem to have been touched by people. Things then get more unsettling when weird noises start coming from deeper in the woods, causing a quick retreat. Still, curiosity wins, and the recorder keeps going. When the strange sounds return, the camera finally points toward the source and catches a mysterious creature hiding among the trees. The forest feels tense, as if even the insects and trees sense something is wrong. Despite the fear and strange sounds around him, the recorder keeps going until he finally sees what was causing it all. After a few scares, he runs away. A slow-motion look at the footage shows a tall, dark figure standing among the trees. Some people think it could be a skinwalker or shapeshifter, while others may see it as another questionable forest clip. A family visiting the zoo came across a strange-looking crocodile lying stiff and dried out on the ground. Its mouth was slightly open. And at first, it looked lifeless, but when they looked closer, they noticed movement inside its mouth with the skin near its lower jaw pulsing a little. It was probably not dead, just in a resting state like torpor, which reptiles can enter in cooler weather to save energy. During this time, they barely move and can look completely lifeless. The odd movement in its mouth is still unclear, so an expert might be able to explain that part better. Hunting definitely isn't for the faint-hearted. It's dangerous, and hunters often come across things they can't explain. In this clip, a hunter hidden inside a blind recorded something strange just about 20 feet away. The creature seems to notice the blind and moves carefully, almost like it understands something is there. It's covered in fur, so at first it could look like an ape or maybe a bear, but its movements seem oddly human. After the footage was posted, the paranormal community quickly called it Bigfoot, and honestly, it's hard not to see why, since this is one of the clearest and closest clips of it. On August 16th, 2018, YouTuber Exploring with Tom went to film what he said was a normal video in a haunted forest in England. But while recording, he noticed what looked like a clown hiding between the trees, and then something unexpected happened.
Mate, just chill, okay? Just chill. Mate, just chill. I'll call the police or something, or the ambulance if you need help. This guy, man. Fuck, you guys up to me. I offered to call the police and the ambulance, you didn't want me to. No, you gotta just chill. You've gotta just chill. Mate, back off. Back off.
Tom tried to calm the person down, telling him to relax and offering to call the police or an ambulance. But the situation quickly became tense, and Tom backed away as the person refused help and kept moving toward him. Why was this man dressed like that in the middle of the forest? Was he really in trouble, or was he trying to scare Tom away? And what was he hiding among those trees? This footage shows a bleak swamp with soaked ground and strange leafless trees, giving the whole place an unsettling feeling. While filming, the person behind the camera spots a figure in the woods ahead and quickly starts recording. The creature does not seem to notice at first, but a few seconds later, it suddenly reacts and tries to hide. It looks a lot like a large black furry Sasquatch standing in a remote part of the woods. Some people in the paranormal community think it is a Sasquatch, while others believe it could be a skunk ape. In 2025, a TikTok account called WV Paranormal shared a video from a family who lived on wooded land in West Virginia. The family often explored the forest together, and one night they spotted something moving between the trees. The father started recording as it crossed an open area. It never looked at them and kept walking until it disappeared into the darkness. Some people wondered if they had filmed Bigfoot, because apparently, walking through trees at night is now a full-time mystery career. This trail cam clip surfaced in 2010 after the owner noticed something strange walking through the woods. At first, it looks like an ape-like creature because of its fur and body shape, but its movement seems strangely human. That makes it hard to call it just an animal, but also hard to call it a person because of all the fur. Some say it could be someone in a costume or edited footage, but the creature's size, reportedly around 8 feet tall, makes the footage even harder to dismiss. On March 25th, 2022, YouTuber Grizzly Gaz, who is known for his outdoor adventures and camping videos around the UK, went out for another trip. At first, it seemed like a fun day full of jokes and laughter, but things soon changed into something much darker than he expected.
One that I sit on to do toilet. But when I used to be king of these woods, but I passed it on. I passed it on to someone else. Can't even remember the name who I passed it on to. Can you remember Fender? There she is, look. Living life. I'm in the woods again today, guys.
Just as he was getting ready to settle down and sleep for the night, strange noises started coming from outside, and that's when the trip took a sudden, unexpected turn.
Oh, can't see all. Pitch black. Oh, sorry. Gonna see if there's. I had some kids earlier just running about, messing about. So if I find them, I'm gonna put me little blue lights on. I'll do this. Walk through woods going woo 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 woo. Come on, mate.
It was pitch black outside, and he could hardly see what was around him. He said he had heard some kids running around earlier, so he decided to take a look and see if they were still there, planning to switch on his little blue lights if he found them. But were those really kids making noise in the darkness? And what was waiting for him outside his tent? A man in the woods believed he had spotted Bigfoot and started filming it as it moved behind the trees. He then asked the creature a question, and it seemed to respond with a strange squeaky sound.
They're all aggressive.
The sound does not match the usual Bigfoot vocalizations people claim to hear. If the clip is real, it raises a strange question. Does that mean the creature cannot communicate as people expect? Or was the squeaky sound coming from something else entirely? A walk through the woods with a child can feel calm and beautiful, but that peace disappears fast when the child suddenly locks onto something terrifying. In this clip, the camera turns toward whatever caught the child's attention and reveals a strange figure standing among the trees. Looking closer, it's clearly not a normal person, but a humanoid shape wrapped in cloth like a mummy, making the whole scene feel disturbing and creepy. At first, it seemed like it could be some kind of Halloween prank, but the footage wasn't taken around Halloween. Nothing physically happened to them, but the experience clearly left them badly shaken. This trail cam footage was captured on a cold winter day in the woods. A tall, dark, furry figure appears against the snowy landscape and seems unusually angry. It starts shaking a tree with so much force that the tree looks almost fake. The creature's size and ape-like shape made some viewers believe it could be Bigfoot. After seeing it, the uploader quickly left the area and moved somewhere safer. On June 22, 2023, YouTuber Metro on the Move was hiking along the Appalachian Trail when he suddenly saw a baby bear on the trail ahead. That immediately made him nervous because a mother bear was probably close by, and they can become extremely dangerous if they think their cub is in danger. He prepared himself for a possible encounter with an angry protective bear, but what happened next was not what he expected at all.
There, dude. Right there. Right there. You see it? You see the bear? Whoa, he's staring at us too, man. I don't know if you guys can see that on the GoPro. He's looking up. He ain't scared. He wants to cross.
He does, but he just saw the other people go by. He's not big either.
No, that means the mama's somewhere around here. Oh, there he goes. Oh,
Decent size for a cub, though. I don't know that they're
that's a
that
cub.
big.
Yeah, that's a cub. Holy cow. Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Hey, bear.
This situation did not turn into the terrifying scene he expected, but it easily could have gone very wrong. Mother bears can rush in from far away if they feel their cub is being threatened, and they can become extremely aggressive when protecting their young. Metro on the Move may have avoided a dangerous encounter by pure luck. The clip shows a crowded room where a chair suddenly falls over. The main focus is on a toddler sitting in the middle of the room, seeming to talk to himself. At first, it looks like the child is alone. Then he suddenly gets pushed onto his back with no visible cause. The fall looks unusual, and the child can be heard crying afterward. Some people believe an unseen presence may have been involved. The mother thinks it could be connected to the ghosts of her 2 deceased babies, since the toddler was originally one of triplets, and the other 2 didn't survive. Running into an unknown creature can be seriously unsettling, especially when it looks dangerous or like nothing familiar. In this footage, the owners came across a dead animal they couldn't identify, and its strange appearance made the whole thing even creepier. It could possibly be a mole, a sloth, or just some ordinary animal that looks weird because of its condition, but it's hard to say for sure. Some might think it's a mutated creature, while others may see it as a normal animal that's just difficult to recognize. A girl was filming videos with her cat when a sudden noise from inside the house surprised her and made her stop what she was doing. After checking around, she heard another noise and rushed into a room, thinking someone might be inside her house. She was so frightened that she even grabbed her pepper spray. What happened next was something she would never forget. Two strange marks suddenly appeared on the edge of her bed right in front of her. There was no clear reason for it, and the video did not seem to have any cuts. After watching it several times, it was hard to see how it could have been edited. Whatever made those marks on the mattress left her completely confused and terrified. This is some of the clearest Bigfoot footage out there. The video shows a massive creature moving through the woods, standing around 7 to 8 feet tall and looking far too large to be a bear or an ape. The person filming was clearly shaken by what they saw, and once the clip was shared online, many in the paranormal community took it as strong evidence of Bigfoot. Sightings like this have been part of folklore and cryptozoology for decades, and the clear quality of this footage only makes it more intriguing. If clips like this are real, then these creatures may be far more present in the woods than most people think. Drones have made exploring and discovering things way easier, and sometimes they end up catching something really strange. In this case, a drone flying over a property spotted a creature moving below. It looked surprisingly human, but its size and the dark fur made people think it might be Bigfoot. Even with all the doubt and arguments about whether Bigfoot is real, clips like this keep the mystery alive and make the whole thing even more fascinating. Reddit user Mr. Quackins heard creepy sounds coming from a storm drain and decided to record them. The noises were strange enough that he wanted others to hear them too. Some commenters thought the sounds might have come from animals like raccoons or big sewer rats, possibly fighting or crying out in distress, but no one could say for sure what it was. The only thing most people agreed on was that it sounded terrifying because storm drains apparently needed their own horror soundtrack. A driver recorded this clip while going down a quiet road. In the video, a tall human-like shadow seemed to be holding onto a pole beside the road. Some people thought it could be a person dressed in dark clothing trying to scare others, while others believed it might just be a shadow caused by odd lighting. Since the video has no clear source, it could also be edited because apparently, blurry roadside clips are now the gold standard of evidence. This footage has been added to the list of possible Bigfoot sightings in the wild. A hiker moving through the woods noticed a strange figure standing deep among the trees and zoomed in for a better look. The figure appeared large, covered in dark fur, and difficult to see clearly because of the shadows. At first, it could pass for a bear or maybe even a gorilla, but its unusual height makes the sighting harder to explain. The clip adds more mystery to the ongoing debate about whether Bigfoot could actually exist. A woman found this strange little creature on the ground while heading out for a walk. At first, it looked like a dried leaf, but once she picked it up, it looked nothing like one. It had delicate yellow wings that looked almost like petals, long human-like legs, and 2 sets of arms. The whole thing was tiny, about the size of a palm, with an insect-like but oddly ethereal appearance. It looked so unusual that some people started wondering if it could actually be a fairy, while others thought it was probably something else entirely. The screaming hairy armadillo sounds like something from a fairy tale, but it is a real animal. These unusual creatures are known for their loud, screaming sounds. Their defense trick is basically being too annoying to eat. When threatened, they scream until the predator gets startled or loses interest. This trail cam footage is pure chaos from start to finish. A group of deer is frozen in place, staring ahead at a fox, but the fox seems focused on something else entirely. Off in the background, a huge humanoid figure casually walks across the path and disappears into the woods. It is clearly not a normal animal, and since bears do not walk around like that, a lot of people think it could be Bigfoot. The whole scene is strange enough already, but it also ends up feeling weirdly wholesome, like even a massive creature like that might have a softer side. As rain poured down, someone started filming the storm and ended up capturing something strange. a bolt of lightning suddenly struck the ground with a loud burst of thunder. Right after the flash, a glowing figure seemed to appear, floating in midair with a bright aura around it. The person filming got scared and quickly went back inside. The strange sight left people wondering if it was an angel, some kind of interdimensional being, or just a strange effect caused by the lightning and the camera. On May 18, 2025, Edward Henry and his 12-year-old son were fishing in Plum Creek when they heard something big moving through the brush. A moment later, a huge creature walking upright appeared. Edward quickly took out his phone and started recording. After the figure disappeared, Edward and his son decided it was best to leave. Later, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization called the footage credible, and some people said it was one of the clearest Bigfoot videos in years, because naturally the forest decided to file its evidence in shaky phone camera format. In February 2018, YouTuber Mo Sargi went back to the haunted witch forest with CJ and Oh My Gosh TV to spend the night in a scary shack they had found during an earlier visit. But this time, it seemed like something was pulling them farther into the woods.
Today I'm joined with CJ, and I'm joined with Oh My Gosh TV, and everybody's freezing their asses up, but you guys know me and CJ a while ago, we did the clown school bus, we stayed the night, we found that shack in the middle of the woods, and it had some really scary things happening inside of it. Today we told you guys in that video that we were going to come back here with Oh My Gosh TV, so we're going to be here all night long, and we're going to spend the night in that haunted shack. Are you ready?
It's cold, brother.
Omar's freezing. He's a Floridian. He's freezing. I'm a Canadian and I'm so cold right now. But yo, smash the like button. We're giving you guys a really sick adventure. Let's get it. Guys, I kid you not. This kitty has been following us everywhere.
I wonder why.
Hey.
Going in there?
Here, kitty. Come here. Are you possessed by Tom? You Tom, my boy?
We walked about a mile and she was way back there and she followed us.
Actually, I don't want to touch.
The cat kept taking them to creepy things in the forest. First to bones hanging on a fence like they were part of a ritual, and then to more bones spread around the woods.
Like some kind of ritual thing.
Bones on the fence? Yeah, there's bones on the fence.
Yeah. Well, this is creepy.
You think that's human?
Dude, I don't know. What if it is?
Bro, it's growing fungus on it too. Don't touch that.
Might be a pelvis. I'm not an expert in bones.
The cat seemed to guide them from one strange spot to another, pausing each time near a bone as if it wanted them to notice what was buried deeper in the forest.
There's some bones.
A bone.
Kitty!
What? Dude, what the heck?
What is that?
I don't know, but the cat led us right to it.
Ew, we should definitely follow the cat. Yo, this knows its way around the jungle. That's some jungle.
Yo, what if she leads us into a cactus? That's right. Yeah, dude, that's a good point.
I'm gonna follow it. You guys wanna go off on your own? I'll follow.
Yeah, you follow that.
Oh, another bone.
Another bone?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Oh my gosh.
She literally just found us. Is it a he or a she?
I don't know.
Hey, flip over, roll over.
Whoa. She's leading us to different
She just found another bone. Hey, kitty, can we see that bone?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my god, look at that.
that?
Bro, what the
Hey, excuse me. Oh, okay, no.
Hey, kitty. I know you probably had pee on you, but it's okay.
After leaving the main trail to follow the animal, they came across what seemed to be a huge human bone that they had missed the first time. Later, while Mo was by himself near a creek, he started hearing frightening noises. First something like a witch's voice, and then screams coming from far inside the woods.
I could swear it sounded like there was a witch over there or something like that. What the hell is that? Did you guys just hear that? What? I know, what the is that?
The scream sounded completely strange to him, like a zombie-like woman's voice, followed right after by a dog barking somewhere nearby.
And I've never heard anything like this before. It was literally the scariest sound I've ever heard in my entire life. I heard a dog bark and then a female scream. but it was a scary sounding female. It was like a zombie female scream. Yo, real talk, I have never heard anything like that before in my life.
No.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
And I've never heard anything like this before. It was literally the scariest sound I've ever heard in my entire life. I heard a dog bark and then a female scream, but it was a scary sounding female. It was like a zombie female scream. Yo, real talk, I have never heard anything like that before in my life.
No.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea. It didn't sound like an animal.
It sounded like it was... That's a cat.
There's someone talking back there, guys.
Shut up, kitty. Stop walking.
It wants to rubber pee on you. I'm getting nervous already, guys.
Bro, when I went through that way, I was getting some mad vibes in there. But after hearing that thing, I don't want to split up anymore.
No, I don't want to either, dude.
It sounded like it was coming from the bus. We need to head over there.
Let's go.
There could be somebody in trouble there. Bro, I'm ready to punch someone if anything just comes at me. That damn cat keeps following us.
I feel like we're being watched, dude.
I know, I literally feel like we're being watched. I feel like we're surrounded.
I almost feel like we're just being hunted at this point.
Yeah.
Weird.
I feel like by the time we spot whatever it is, it's gonna be too late. Guys, this is getting...
I'm thinking close to you, dude.
Yeah, this is...
the bus.
There's the bus. This is getting very real and very dangerous right now. Yeah, this is the bus.
When they got to the bus area, a loud sound came from somewhere off camera, scaring even the cat, before whatever caused it ran away into the dark.
That was loud as hell. Even the kitty got scared. Holy off camera, some loud noise happened.
Dude, I thought you guys were over here. No, I heard a noise over here. I heard something hit here and ran off.
Whatever that was so loud.
Dude, that was loud as hell, man. This is the second time something's happened. I haven't been recording. I'm just gonna record it.
Okay, I'm freaked out right now, you guys. I kid you not. I heard it too.
You guys rolling?
I wasn't rolling, no.
I wasn't rolling now.
Every time we turn off these damn cameras, there was like we had heard two heavy footsteps on that side of the tree.
Bro, there's a freaking trap right there. Look at that.
What do you mean?
Dude, there's a hole underneath here.
Dude, be careful. That could be a booby trap.
Yo, is that the thing? That's what we stepped on.
We stepped on that. Yo, it got covered up.
What is that? Oh, dude, yeah. I'm telling
Careful.
you. There's a hole
That's
underneath
it, dude.
We stepped on that, but it wasn't covered by leaves when we stepped on it.
Dude, there's a giant hole underneath there.
The cat kept behaving oddly, looking toward empty spots and lifting its tail as if it could feel something threatening close by.
Literally just saw something.
That's weird.
What do you see?
Oh my gosh, look at it.
Yeah, I know. I heard
Look,
something.
it's raising its tail.
Yeah. What do you see?
Whoa.
I heard something in the bush and she's looking. Bro, this guy's here to help us. Holy, there it is. Oh my god. That is the scariest thing I have ever seen.
Sound like a UFO. That was weird.
You heard that too, huh?
Yeah. Listen.
Bro, there's no airplanes up there.
What the is going on right now?
How, dude?
It did it twice.
I never heard of any airplanes do that before.
No.
And I could be wrong.
The cat eventually brought them to the cabin, where they found something even more unsettling. A skeleton lying on the bed, which had not been there the last time they visited.
What?
That wasn't there the last time we were here.
What?
That skeleton thing.
Oh,
Dude, it's like on the bed. Look at that, guys. Look at that.
That wasn't there. This was here.
What about this old creepy picture, too?
Yeah.
yeah, we don't know who that is, though. Something crazy.
Maybe there's something under the mattress. Or in the mattress.
Oh, that head says 666 on it.
Omar, don't move. There's a spider web right above you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, that does.
Yeah, that head said 666 on it.
Oh. Look at that, guys. I don't even want to get close to that, but it does say 666. Jesus. That's so freaking creepy. Look.
The black cat kept returning to the bed with the skeleton on it, as if it wanted them to focus on that exact spot. Even now, no one really knows why the black cat kept guiding them through the witch forest, or what it wanted them to find. Between the bones, the skeleton that showed up on the bed after their first visit, the screams coming from the woods, and the cat staying close like it was protecting them or warning them, it felt like something in that forest wanted them to uncover its secrets. In the green lands of southwest Victoria, an unknown creature was spotted moving on all fours like a fox or wolf. Its upper fur looked brown, while the lower part of its back had stripes, making it resemble a thylacine, an animal believed to have gone extinct in the 1900s. The thylacine was also called the Tasmanian wolf because of its wolf-like appearance, and the Tasmanian tiger because of the stripes on its back. The last known one died in a zoo in 1936, so if this sighting turns out to be real, it would be a massive discovery. It also makes the whole idea of extinct species being rediscovered feel a lot less impossible. A group of teenagers was hanging out at a local park when one of them saw something strange in the sky. At first, it looked like white birds or maybe butterflies moving together far away. But when they looked closer, the movement didn't seem to match birds or insects. The objects seemed to have several wing-like shapes moving at once. No one has clearly explained what they saw, leaving people to wonder if it was something normal that just looked strange, or something truly unexplained. This footage was taken in the sky over Arizona and shows several small objects moving around as if they are interacting with each other.
What is this in the sky, y'all?
What is that, bro?
What is this?
Many people would quickly call them UFOs because of the way they shift direction and move through the sky. Still, drones are a more realistic explanation since they can hover, move in patterns, and perform sharp maneuvers. It could simply be a group of drones being controlled from the ground, though the unusual movement still makes the footage feel mysterious. The footage appears to show a snowy mountain or winter woodland area. At first, it looks like a normal forest scene. Then, a massive furry creature appears in the distance. Its size might make it look like a gorilla, but its movement does not quite match one. Some viewers believe the creature could be Bigfoot. There is still no clear explanation for what was captured. This footage was captured somewhere in the United States, though the exact location is unknown. A late-night beachgoer had sneaked onto the beach for a swim when they noticed a pale creature crawling along the shoreline on its hands and feet. It moved with slow, calculated steps, making the scene feel creepy and unsettling. The person filming managed to hide and avoid being seen. Some people think the creature could be a monster or a rake, but without more details, it is impossible to know what it really was. One night, an urban explorer went into an abandoned building to record what was inside. As he moved through the rooms, he noticed something scary. Someone or something was standing there, swaying back and forth without reacting to him. He backed away, but curiosity made him return a moment later. Then, a pale figure covered in old, torn fabric came out of the darkness and moved toward him. Its face could not be seen, so he quickly ran from the building, unsure of what he had just seen. A woman hiking in California started feeling uneasy, like something was watching her. When she looked around, she noticed a strange creature perched on a tree with an almost primal stillness. She believed it was Bigfoot watching from a distance. Only its head and shoulders could be seen, but that brief sighting was enough to raise a lot of questions. It could have been some kind of mythical forest being, or maybe just shadows and leaves creating the illusion of something there. This person was out for a walk when they found something surprising.
Hi! Hi there!
In the video, they held a huge insect in their hand. At first, it looked scary, with long wings, a thick body, and large jaws that made it seem almost alien. After looking it up, they found out it was a Dobson fly. These large insects are often found near rivers and streams. Male Dobson flies have long pincers that may look dangerous, but they are mostly used to attract females, not hurt people, because even bugs apparently need dramatic accessories. This clip shows a strange and creepy scene from Siberia, where an explorer comes across what looks like a possible alien frozen in the ice. The creature has the classic features people associate with extraterrestrials, and even though it looks lifeless, it appears to be well preserved. Since it is stuck in ice, there is no clear way to tell how long it has been there, which only makes the whole thing more mysterious. Some people might call it a hoax, but others see it as something that could connect to recent talk in the USA about extraterrestrial life. If it is real, it raises a lot of unsettling questions about how long these beings may have been around and what that could mean. A TikTok user called Phantom Freak Official posted trail camera footage taken deep in the woods at night. The video was discovered the next day while checking the recordings, and it showed a strange figure moving across the camera in a smooth but unnatural way. After it spread online, people came up with different ideas about what it could be. Some thought it looked like a ghost because of its faint shape and gliding movement, while others believed it might be a cryptid from forest legends or possibly just a camera glitch. Rabbits are usually known for their fluffy fur, big ears, and tiny, adorable size. Then there are Flemish giants, because apparently regular rabbits were not dramatic enough. These huge rabbits can grow as big as a dog. They were originally bred for meat, but many people now keep them as pets. Despite their massive size, they are still just as cute as smaller rabbits. A man walking deep inside an unnamed forest in the US had a frightening experience when he suddenly heard something heavy moving above him. As he looked up to see what it was, he spotted something disturbing in the trees.
Whoa, see what I'm seeing?
A dark, primate-like figure could be seen clinging to the branches. At first, it stayed completely still, but then it suddenly began to move. The man got scared, stopped recording, and quickly backed away. One detail, though, makes the clip look suspicious. When he zooms in on the tree, the image seems to shift a little, and the tree details appear to change right as the creature starts moving. It makes the footage feel unclear, as if it could have been edited, animated with AI, or maybe just distorted by the camera trying to focus. A man deep in the woods heard strange noises and decided to investigate at night with a camera and flashlight. As he followed the sounds, he came across a creepy fence with a clear no trespassing warning, but he crossed it anyway and kept going. Soon, he spotted a huge figure in the distance that looked like Siren Head. The sight terrified him, so he stayed hidden and watched as the creature moved closer. Once it passed, he managed to get away and later uploaded the footage to YouTube. The video got mixed reactions, with some calling it fake and others finding it disturbing. A man shared late-night security footage from a camera facing his yard and garden. Everything looked quiet at first, but when he checked the clip, he noticed a faint figure moving across the yard. It had a human-like shape, but looked very light and almost transparent. The figure walked slowly from one side of the yard to the other before fading out of view. The homeowner said no one was outside that night, and the movement looked too steady to seem like dust, an insect, or a simple camera glitch. Some people think it could be a spirit or a residual presence caught on camera, while others may see it as another strange security clip with no clear answer. A paranormal investigator was exploring a building when he found something disturbing in one of the rooms. It looked like a woman tied up and left there, which immediately made the scene feel like a possible crime. After checking it for a while, he started thinking it might just be a prop. Then the investigation was suddenly interrupted by a sound behind him. He was not alone.
Jeez! Alright, no, I didn't do that. That sounded like it came from down the...
There seemed to be someone else inside the building with him, and whoever it was appeared to be trying to escape. He tried to leave and return with his team, but ended up getting lost as more creepy things started happening around him. If the tied-up woman was really just a prop or doll, it still leaves one strange question. Why were so many weird things happening in that building? A couple of teenagers went out one night, hoping to have fun, but things quickly turned strange. When they reached the park, they spotted a mysterious figure in unusual clothing walking around. They could not tell what it was, but they remembered that someone had recently in that same park under unclear circumstances. After seeing the figure, they started wondering if it could be connected to the death. Once they posted the video online, it spread quickly, especially because people in the area had already been talking about a creepy presence in the park. The security footage shows an empty street at night. A dark figure walks across the road, then suddenly stops and looks towards something. Moments later, a hooded man appears and starts stealing from a parked car, completely unaware that the figure is watching him. As the thief searches the car, the entity begins moving toward him. Before it gets close, the man runs off with what he took, and the strange figure chases after him. The whole scene is odd because the man never seems to notice it. Was it some kind of supernatural police, or just another creepy thing caught on camera? The security footage shows an empty street at night. A dark figure walks across the road, then suddenly stops and looks towards something. Moments later, a hooded man appears and starts stealing from a parked car, completely unaware that the figure is watching him. As the thief searches the car, the entity begins moving toward him. Before it gets close, the man runs off with what he took, and the strange figure chases after him. The whole scene is odd because the man never seems to notice it. Was it some kind of supernatural police, or just another creepy thing caught on camera? A GoPro on someone's four-wheeler captured a strange moment on a forest trail. As the rider drove through the woods, a dark figure suddenly crossed the path in the distance. Even from far away, it looked huge, tall, wide, and walking on two legs. Some people thought it might be an ape or gorilla, but animals like that do not normally live in those forests. Because of its size and upright walk, many viewers thought it could be Bigfoot. The figure vanished into the trees within seconds, leaving people unsure of what really crossed the trail. This strange sea creature was filmed in South Carolina. At first, it looks like a fish with wings flapping through the water. It is actually a type of sea slug, because nature apparently enjoys making animals look like tiny underwater aliens. The way it glides through the water is surprisingly graceful. It is a nice reminder that even ordinary creatures can look beautiful and strange. The woman, known as Cello Loca, is known for making tarot reading and fortune-telling videos. She usually reads cards during her streams, but this time she tried something different by holding a seance. As she attempted to make contact, she talked on the phone with a friend who was watching the live stream. While she sat in front of a mirror, something unexpected happened.
Como si me quedara inmovilizada. Mira que se así.
Ahora se abre la puerta.
¿Dónde está la puerta? ¿Se ve la puerta?
Sí.
Ábrete, ábrete. Ábrete puerta. Ábrete puerta. Que se abra la puerta. Que se abra.
No es posible. No es posible.
Ay, tu madre, hija de puta. No me toquéis que estoy protegida, ¿eh? No me toquéis que estoy protegida. No vale, ya abro la luz, tía. ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Estás enfadado? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante? Venga, ponte delante del espejo, te quiero ver. Dios, tu puta madre, no, puta, que me caigo.
Hostia, cuidado.
Not long after, something else happened that made her stop the seance and end the live stream. Some viewers thought she may have contacted something dark, while others believed the whole thing could have been staged. Even so, many people still saw it as possible paranormal evidence. So the question remains, was it real or was it just a carefully planned hoax? Reddit user JuiceChemical7175 shared a story about his uncle driving home on a dark, snowy road north of Winnipeg, Manitoba, around 11:30 p.m. The night was quiet and snow was falling when his uncle's dash cam caught a human-like figure running toward the trees and bushes. It did not look like any animal usually seen in the area. Since bears would likely be hibernating and the figure had no tail like a wolf, its posture and shape looked strangely human. Some people believed it could be Bigfoot because naturally, every blurry roadside mystery must report directly to the cryptid department. This footage is harder to explain. It was captured in a remote area of Marshall County, Oklahoma, where there were reportedly no people around for miles. At first, it might look like a blurred person moving through the woods, but the location makes that less likely. After the uploader shared it online, some people suggested the trail cam may have caught a goblin. Others thought it could be Bigfoot, though its small size makes that idea less convincing. The image quality is poor, so it is difficult to say what was really captured. A couple shared a photo they took while they were home alone. It was supposed to be a cute moment, with both of them smiling close to the camera. But when they looked at the picture later, they noticed a pale face staring from the gap between their heads. At first, they thought it might be lighting or a reflection, but the face looked too clear to ignore. The couple said they do not have children, and no one else was in the house at the time. Some people think it could be the spirit of a child, while others believe it may be something attached to the house or the couple. This trail cam capture is strange enough to make people look twice. At first, the figure seems like a gorilla moving through the woods. It has the bulky shape people usually associate with large primates, but on closer inspection, it may not be a gorilla at all. It could be something much larger crouching close to the ground. Some viewers believe the creature might be Bigfoot, though whether the footage is real or not is still unclear. While hiking on a remote 35-acre property near Cherokee Park in northern Colorado, some unusual tracks were found. The prints were about 16 inches long, with a stride of around 2.5 feet. The property has a cabin that is usually abandoned during winter, and heavy snow often blocks the roads. But that year, the winter was mild, so people were able to reach the land and spot the tracks. Nearby footprints from the visitors made it easy to compare them with normal human tracks, showing how strange the larger prints looked. The hikers were left wondering if they had found signs of Bigfoot, because apparently, even snow now has to provide suspicious evidence. This footage from Utah shows a strange dark figure near the middle of the scene. It was reportedly captured by accident and later shared online. After that, another person who had explored the same area shared similar footage. Many viewers believe the large figure could be Bigfoot, especially since it has supposedly been seen in that area more than once. Still, whether it is real or just another unclear clip is hard to say. In early September 2024, a camper named Jack was on a fishing trip with his father at the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in Michigan. While collecting firewood near their camp, he saw something standing among the trees. At first, he thought it was a bear, but then it stood up on 2 legs. Jack quickly took 3 photos before the creature made a low growling sound and ran into the forest. Frightened by what had happened, Jack and his father left the area early, still unsure who had been watching them. On November 22nd, at exactly 11:36 a.m., a strange sight was captured on a farm. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of blackbirds had gathered in one place. The scene looked unsettling and creepy. Some might think it had a darker meaning, while others may see it as birds gathering naturally. Either way, seeing that many blackbirds together would feel strange. This clip takes us to Australia, where a strange skeleton was found. Most people who saw it could not identify what it belonged to. Some guessed it might be a dog, but that did not really make sense. While the scientific side could not give a clear answer, the paranormal crowd had a different idea. They believed it looked like the skeleton of a mermaid or something similar. Looking at it, it is easy to see why people started making that connection. Back in 2009, someone hiking through the forests of Utah noticed something strange in the distance and quickly took a photo. Since phone cameras were much worse back then, the image came out grainy, and AI image creation was not really a common thing yet. Even so, some viewers noticed details like broad shoulders, a rounded head, and strong-looking legs. Because of those features, some people believe the photo could show a real Bigfoot sighting, because apparently, blurry forest photos are where certainty goes to retire. This trail cam capture looks normal at first, but a closer look reveals something strange in the middle of the frame. While the animal on the right is feeding, 2 bright white dots appear in the distance. They look like reflected eyes, which is common in night footage, but the strange part is how far apart they seem to be. It is hard to tell what animal could have eyes spaced like that. It could be a cryptid, an unknown creature, a ghost, or maybe just a trick of the camera and darkness. The image shows a strange creature with a pig's head and the muscular body of a man, making it look like some weird human-pig hybrid. At first glance, it looks seriously unsettling, but a closer look shows it is wearing a white tank top, which makes it seem more likely that it is just a person in a very realistic costume. If that is the case, then it is a lot less disturbing, because running into something that looked like this in the woods or on a farm would be terrifying. Some conspiracy theories claim NASA might be altering digital maps to hide certain places on Earth. In this clip, someone zooms in on a strange area with an unusual pattern that looks almost like a wall. The odd shape has sparked theories about hidden locations, secret operations, and information being covered up. Still, it could also just be a misunderstanding, a map glitch, or a normal feature that looks strange from above. This trail cam capture shows a beautiful cougar. These wild cats are known for their stealth, grace, and mysterious presence in the forest. With their sleek bodies and sharp eyes, they always look impressive on camera. Trail cam shots of cougars are usually stunning, and this one is no different. As majestic as they are, it is still best to keep a safe distance if one ever appears nearby. They may look calm and beautiful, but they are still apex predators. Reddit user Exalted Bra was visiting a rural area north of Huntsville to enjoy the quiet and get away from the city. Since the highway was closed because of winter conditions, he stopped and walked around for a while. While looking around the snowy ground, he noticed large tracks pressed deep into the snow. They were much bigger than he expected, and even though he was not an expert at animal tracks, their size and shape stood out. He took photos and even stood beside them for comparison. Some commenters said the prints were not strange at all and were probably made by a deer jumping through the snow, then changing shape as they melted. Still, the tracks left people wondering what really made them, because apparently, even deer now get accused of cryptid behavior. This image was captured in Arizona. At first glance, the figure looks like an ape hiding in the bushes, but a closer look makes it seem different. It has fur, yet its body appears more human-like than ape-like. Reports say it would stand around 7 to 8 feet tall, which led many people to believe it could be a juvenile Bigfoot. Since Bigfoot sightings are often talked about in that area, the image quickly got people wondering if it shows the real thing or just a hoax. In the 1970s, a snowmobiler was riding near Fort McMurray in Alberta, Canada, when he entered a narrow cut and saw a dark figure in the snow. He stopped and took a photo with a 35mm camera. The film was later developed and enlarged at a professional studio, which was common at the time. The image shows a medium-sized dark figure walking on 2 legs. Even today, the snowmobiler does not know what he captured, but he is fairly sure it was not a person. This trail cam capture shows a deer with what looks like an icy face mask. It probably splashed water on its face while drinking, and the freezing weather quickly turned it into ice. The result is a deer that looks like it just came from a frozen spa treatment, because nature apparently has jokes too. Some people think it looks paranormal, or even possessed, but the simple explanation seems more likely. It is probably just ice on the deer's face caused by cold weather. This footage captures a strange sound echoing through the woods. The person recording believes it could be connected to Bigfoot. The audio includes a loud grunt-like growl spreading through the forest. Some think it might be Bigfoot communicating, while others believe it could be an unknown animal, or just a well-planned prank by someone enjoying the chaos a little too much. This image shows a forest at night, with a glowing orb resting on the root of a tree. The scene looks peaceful, but also mysterious. Some people connect glowing orbs with supernatural activity, while others might see them as a glowing creature, or even some kind of portal. It is the kind of image that leaves a lot open to interpretation. A trail camera operated by a Bigfoot research group called Bigfoot Evidence on Facebook recorded a strange figure in a forest. The video shows a small human-like shape moving through the bushes, making some people think it could be a young Bigfoot. It looked shorter than an adult and seemed to walk with a slight hunch. Some viewers said it might just be a bear because of its rounded shoulders and furry appearance, while others felt its shape looked too human-like to be a regular animal. Since the location was not given, it is difficult to know for sure what it was. This trail cam footage captured something no one expected. Instead of wildlife, the camera recorded an inmate trying to escape in the middle of the night. The person who sent in the clip said they did not understand what they were seeing at first, until the individual was arrested later. It just shows that trail cams can catch more than animals these days. Sometimes they capture the kind of scene no one was prepared for. This trail cam capture takes things to the Amazon, where a strange and pretty terrifying image of a creature was caught. It is said to be the horned beast of Badya, a cryptid not many people seem to know about. According to the story, the photo was taken in 2007 by an American teen exploring the area. At first, he thought he had seen some kind of demon carrying a baby, but locals familiar with the legend told him it was actually the horned beast, a dangerous cryptid known in that region. They also said he was lucky to make it out alive, which makes the photo even more unsettling. A father took a photo of his daughter while they were visiting Tamworth Castle in Staffordshire. At first, the picture looked normal, but later, when he showed it to his family, they noticed something odd in the background. Two strange figures. Neither the father nor his daughter remembered seeing anyone there when the photo was taken. Tamworth Castle has been linked to many strange stories over the years, including local legends about a nun said to have lived there in the 9th century. Some people think the figures could just be pareidolia, while others wonder if they are connected to the castle's history. Either way, the photo adds another creepy detail to the mystery of Tamworth Castle. This trail cam capture shows something strange moving behind a tree. Only part of the creature can be seen, but one leg is clearly visible, and its stride looks oddly human. Some people thought it might be a monkey or even a bat, but the way it moves makes those ideas less convincing. Because of its shape and movement, some viewers think it could be Bigfoot. The image is unclear, so there is no definite answer, but it is definitely a strange capture. A solo British adventurer heads into the woods along the North Downs Way for a winter equipment trial. Searching for a secluded spot to pitch his heavy-duty tent, he rejects an initial site that, despite good cover, sits too close to a public trail. This highlights the primary challenge of the excursion: finding a balance between staying hidden and remaining clear of foot traffic.
Been outside to hang my rubbish in a tree. Reason why I did that is with the OEX Fox 2, something chewed through at night to get to some dry roasted peanuts. So since then I've been a little bit paranoid. 8:30, but 8:30 in the world of winter camping is roughly bedtime. So you can see from the shots before that it's snowing, and I didn't expect that. The weather app said 0 chance of rain, and they were right, but it is snow. The temperature has dropped outside. So temperature outside currently is 1 degree inside the tent. So 8.3 degrees inside the tent, 1 degree outside the tent. I'll see you.
Nightfall prompts an immediate shift toward campsite security. Drawing on past encounters where wildlife raided his gear, he suspends his food and trash from a distant branch. This proactive step ensures he is prepared for potential animal visitors long before the wilderness goes completely dark.
Slight issue with one of the zips. From around 9 o'clock onwards, I heard a bit of stirring. It wasn't the typical animal noises you hear as animals are passing by and around. It was definitely human. So I don't know if someone tipped up to try and use this spot and then saw me and then moved on. I might go down that way actually, just to see if I can see anything. How can anyone class wild camping as rough when you're waking up in the morning and getting yourself a mocker? So I figured I might ask for your guys' help. The one thing left that I'm struggling with, and even right now as we speak, is cold feet. I've bought some like mountaineering socks.
Deep into the night, an abrupt noise disrupts the quiet outside his shelter, forcing him to freeze and listen closely. The rustling sounds completely different from the usual forest backdrop, leaving him unsure if an animal is passing through or if something is lurking right beside him. With the pitch-black woods blocking his view, he gets no visual answers, which only heightens the unease. This footage is from Small Plots, a Canadian outdoor channel highlighting stealth camping and quick adventures inside overlooked suburban and industrial zones. On April 29, 2026, Kevin circles back to his original choice for the night, a tiny patch of woods bordering a suburban cul-de-sac. This setting completely flips the stakes from typical wilderness survival to the constant threat of being spotted. Slipping back into the neighborhood, his biggest challenge is avoiding detection, with homeowners watching from nearby windows and cars driving past. He has to blend in and stroll casually along the tree line to keep from looking suspicious. Even with the thick overgrowth, the entire setup feels incredibly exposed.
Everywhere I go, there are just eyeballs on me, like just straight up. And right here is no different. I pulled in and somebody was pulling out of their driveway and just stopped and like stared at me. Roll up in here and they're still sitting there in their driveway. I think I'm just gonna say like Yeah, let's go.
Pushing deeper into the overgrown thicket, the surroundings take on a completely different character. Buried beneath the dense vegetation, Kevin uncovers signs of a bygone era, a decaying basketball court, tangles of rusted barbed wire fencing, and old debris strewn across the ground. The further he advances, the more the connection to the neat, neighboring suburb fades. Instead, the hidden plot transforms into a forgotten industrial pocket trapped in time between active residential developments.
Oh, it's a deer. Whew. So my uneducated guess on what that thing is, a power transformer with an antenna to, you know, send data. Is it working? Is it not working? What's going on with it? That kind of thing. I don't know what else that would be. Also, weird note, right now where my tripod is on, like a tiled ground, looks like it was a kitchen or something at one point. Very strange. All right, so I'm following this little trail here. And I'm glad I did, because yeah, this just leads straight up into somebody's backyard. I'm like really glad I decided to come check this out. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't want to get too much closer. That's just somebody's backyard right there. Okay, so that's good to know that they have like a little highway back. Looks like a turkey met its untimely.
Once he settles down next to a massive, rusted drainage pipe, a sudden, unexplained metallic clang echoes from the nearby railway corridor. This sudden reminder of active infrastructure instantly shifts the atmosphere yet again. It highlights the reality that this campsite isn't truly isolated. Instead, it is tightly wedged right between active residential life and constant industrial movement.
Oh, is it out where the golf course? It's really hard to tell. It sounds like it's coming from all around. Just heard loud music, like really close, and that kind of stopped. And then I heard voices. All right, well, keep an eye and an ear on that. So I don't want to leave the fire going without me there for too long, but I did hear some shouting and voices nearby. I don't know where it is. There's just sticks in my clothes. It sounded like it was out in this field, but it could be anywhere. Sure, I don't want to be giving myself away here. Yeah, I can't see that fire at all. I'm not that far. I'm like 20 feet away. All right, well, we know that we're in a suburban neighborhood. We know that people come back here. And we know we just gotta stay chill and we'll be all right.
Once inside the shelter, the quiet amplifies every noise. Faint scratching against the equipment is followed by heavy footsteps crunching through dry leaves outside. Though nothing is seen, the uncertainty heightens the tension of potential discovery. This scenario is driven by vulnerability rather than wilderness isolation, focusing entirely on concealment amidst nearby human activity. While no confrontation occurs, the unease persists because the campsite is simultaneously hidden and surrounded. Ultimately, the experience becomes a test of psychological pressure, the constant stress of trying to remain invisible where discovery is a constant risk. The video is from Wild About Wales, a UK solo wild camping and bushcraft channel focused on tarp-based camping in remote woodland settings. It takes place on October 27th, 2025, in a misty remote valley in the United Kingdom. The camp starts under thick fog with very low visibility. Almost right away, the camper notices movement somewhere outside the shelter area, but nothing can be clearly seen through the mist. This is important because the mood shifts early on. Even before the camp is properly set up, the surroundings already feel hard to interpret.
To give me that extra bit of headroom. I'm looking in front of me. I've just spotted those horses again, walking through those trees for the mist. Yes, there's a cracking little spot.
As the evening gets quieter, heavier movement can be heard farther inside the forest. The noise seems slower and more substantial than what was heard earlier, but the fog is still too thick to clearly see what is causing it.
You've got that owl out there. But that's not what I was hearing. I was just about to go to bed. And I can hear branches snapping. Something moving around out there. On the wind. It's just picked up. Don't worry, I'm not one of these YouTubers that does these scary videos. I had a good walk around. I could hear some noises coming from over there. I shone my torch down there. And I can see a big black figure. Just turns out it's one of those horses. But it's so cool.
He leaves the shelter with a torch to check. A dark shape appears between the trees, but turns out to be a horse seen earlier. The glowing eyes are sheep in the woodland, reflecting the light through the mist. The confusion is caused by low visibility and misreading what is there. The fog makes normal animals hard to identify, creating uncertainty until everything is revealed as part of the natural surroundings. This creepy video comes from Grizzly Gaz, a UK solo wild camping channel that focuses on overnight stays deep in remote forests. The video is set on April 29, 2026, in a secluded British woodland.
We're back in the woods where lots of stuff has happened to me in the past. I've had creepy blokes sneaking up on me in the night. People pushing my tent down on top of me. Strange noises in the night. And there's even been UFO abductions from here. There's quite a lot of structures in here as well what I want to go and have a look at. So we'll take a look at them as well. And while I'm waiting for everyone to bugger off, I'm going to set up my perimeter alarms for tonight. So, probes on the tree there. There we go. Caught us. Right, come on, mate. Come in. Door's open.
Gaz heads back to a forest where he's had creepy experiences before, so he's already on high alert as he arrives. He sets up camp near the edge of the woods and immediately strings up perimeter alarms on the trees before dark, making security a priority right from the start. While getting settled, he spots weird stacked logs and crude wooden structures scattered around that look a bit too deliberate to be natural, keeping him on edge.
Look, if it were eye shine. Fuck with that. It is eye shine, look. Can you see it? What is that? Look at it.
Things take a creepy turn during a night walk when he spots a faint reflection through the trees that turns out to be glowing orange eyes. The lights stay perfectly still instead of blinking or moving away, making it clear that whatever it is, it's just standing there staring right at him.
Can you see it?
It's still there, staring at me through bushes. Come on.
The shape comes into better focus through the brush, standing completely still and staring right at him. What makes it really eerie is the total lack of footsteps or snapping twigs. The figure keeps vanishing and reappearing in different spots without making a single sound.
It's gone into this dense. There, look. Can you see him through that little gap? It's circling me. It's like Predator, isn't it?
Later on, a loud snap from a breaking branch echoes right near camp, followed instantly by one of his tripwire alarms going off. He jumps up to check the perimeter around his tent, but finds absolutely nothing, marking the first time whatever is out there has directly messed with his campsite.
Can you hear a fox screaming in distance? Or no, it's not that. Hi. I know you're out there.
Right around that same time, he hears faint, muffled noises echoing from deeper in the woods. While he can't quite make out what the sounds actually are, they're steady and consistent enough to keep him completely hyper-focused on the dark tree line.
I can hear it. Bing bong, bing bong. Let's go check the other one. That noise was just weird, man. It sounded like a bloke mumbling or something. There's another alarm on that tree. Yeah. Can you hear it?
While double-checking his alarms, he catches the sound of low, muffled mumbling coming from the dark forest, but a thorough search of the area turns up absolutely nothing. The whole night relies on a creepy pattern of repeated close calls, rather than a massive climax, weaving together glowing eyes, silent movement, and a direct breach of his campsite, because every single disturbance happens just out of sight, clear enough to freak him out, but impossible to verify. The video ends in total, unresolved mystery. This video comes from Happy Hippie Wild Living, a UK wild camping channel featuring overnights in unusual locations, abandoned structures, and exposed landscapes. On April 10th, 2026, the team sets up camp inside the creepcaught shipwreck in Scotland. Moving through the vessel, the structural decay is immediately apparent, marked by missing floor sections, exposed gaps, and unstable footing. Despite these hazards, they suspend their hammocks within the tilted frame of the wreck, establishing a campsite defined not by a hostile natural environment, but by the instability of the ruins.
Seaweed. Want some seaweed, mate?
I'm alright.
Does not look appetizing.
Maybe later.
I'm pretty sure most seaweed is edible anyway, so you should be alright if you find some out. Mmm. You know what it tastes like? Green beans.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds alright.
Really good.
As they move around the shipwreck, its structural instability becomes even more obvious. A phone slips and plummets from the vessel onto the beach below, a moment that underscores how little margin for error exists inside the wreck. The slanted surfaces and sheer, open edges transform even basic movement into a task requiring constant vigilance.
Yeah, and it's on a tilt as well. You should have seen us walking earlier. Yep, and I've got to go up another level after this. All aboard. There he is, getting into his bedroom. Oh, that looks cozy in there.
Oh, Christ.
As darkness falls, they get back on the ship. Moving across the slanted decks becomes slower and more careful because of the wet surfaces, uneven footing, and low light.
Stairway to heaven. Top of the ship. Here's my boudoir for the night. Oh my god, that is beautiful. It's amazing. This is awesome. What a view. No, thank you. I don't want to fall down there. I don't fancy a dip this evening.
You wouldn't even be tempted, would you?
This is time to get in this beautiful hammock. Just climb on in the window to my bedroom.
They move further up through the wreck using narrow open walkways to reach the upper sections. These higher levels feel much less stable, with clear drop-offs around the sleeping area. At that point, the experience becomes more about adjusting to the damaged structure than simply camping. The conditions, tilted surfaces, exposure to the weather, height, and instability create the tension throughout the night. Nothing strange or paranormal happens. The uneasy feeling comes from staying inside a wreck that clearly was never meant to be used again. By morning, the weather improves, and the atmosphere feels completely different. The video is from Austin Schrock, an outdoor creator focused on wilderness navigation, survival challenges, and cave exploration in remote areas. It takes place on April 10th to 11th, 2026 in Rusk County, Wisconsin, United States. After a freezing night outdoors, he starts moving toward the hidden cave coordinates using a compass and natural landmarks. As he leaves the ATV trail behind, the terrain gets steeper and the area feels more isolated.
Looks like a little bit of a cavern. Well, it's not really looking like much. You can tell over the years, giant chunks of these rocks just broke off and fell down the face here. I could have easily buried it. The one thing harder than climbing across this jumbled mess of rocks is doing it with a pack on and holding a phone with the other hand. I really don't want to twist an ankle back in here. I don't know how deep it has to be considered a cave, but I don't think that's a cave. Well, there's some neat features along here. So far, no cave. I've been moving laterally on the side of this cliff. I'm gonna go back down to the bottom, walk along it, see if I can see anything from down there. Well, this is the closest thing I've found to a cave so far. It's not very big, it goes down in. I think it just dead ends down in there. I'm gonna take my pack off and go down in there and see what we can find.
Inside the cave, things become more dangerous. While moving through the frozen passage, his foot gets stuck between rocks, forcing him to stop in a tight space. This is the first real moment of increased risk. Underground, even a minor loss of movement can quickly turn into a serious problem.
I might get stuck. Ow. Man, I'm about to get down my belly to see from here. Alright, belly crawl, here we go. Yeah, seems like it did end. Hissing sound. Anyway, so that narrow part there probably goes back in 10 feet, about the furthest I can get back in there. And it dead ends. Alright. Well, there wasn't a sign here saying this is the Five Guys cave, but that is by far the most cave-like thing I have found there. So I'm gonna call it the cave. Success.
Before leaving the chamber, he stops after hearing a clear hissing sound deeper in the cave. The source is never found, but it immediately changes the atmosphere. The next day, he returns with others to collect equipment and continue into another tight passage. Even with backup, the tunnel remains difficult, with narrow gaps forcing awkward movement and contact with the rock walls through a section they call the birth canal. The situation is defined by confinement and a limited margin for error. The tension comes entirely from the environment, where every movement carries risk, and there is little room to recover if something goes wrong. This video comes from Dave Explores, a US urban exploration channel that hits up abandoned mining camps, remote wilderness spots, and rotting off-grid locations. It's April 30th, 2026, high up in the snowy mountains of central Idaho. The vibe is instantly isolating as Dave arrives at a deserted mining camp packed with decaying bunkhouses and weather-beaten shacks, completely cut off from civilization with no maintained roads or signs of life anywhere around.
This is really cool. Acme Foundry Company. Check this out, they built 2 chairs out of wood.
Stepping inside one of the cabins, the vibe shifts entirely from a total wreck to a weirdly preserved time capsule. Rather than being stripped bare or trashed by vandals, the interior still features furniture, shelves, and bed frames standing right where they belong, along with various household items scattered about. This mostly intact layout gives the distinct impression that the place was slowly and casually left behind over time, rather than abandoned in a frantic rush.
What that is? Let me grab it. No freaking way. Check that out. That's a revolver. You know, I found before I found a special, but it wasn't like this good of condition. It was a super antique. This thing's really cool. I already checked the trigger. I always check that, and there's nothing in it.
As Dave searches deeper inside the cabin, he finds an old weathered revolver hidden away among the leftover junk. The gun looks ancient and pretty beat up, but finding it instantly shifts the mood of the whole exploration. It's not that the weapon is a threat, but it serves as a stark reminder of just how isolated, dangerous, and self-reliant life out at this mountain camp must have been.
That is sketch. Holy cow. Even if you make it past this collapsed section, it's just collapsed again up ahead. And you can't even do it because if you look, this is all ice. Over there, where you have to crawl, that's all ice as well.
Heading higher up the mountain, the remaining structures are in even worse shape, showing major structural failure. The buildings lean at crazy angles, foundations have completely shifted, and entire sections look ready to collapse after years of being battered by heavy snow, freezing cycles, and total isolation. The whole exploration is defined by this contrast between the preserved slices of daily life left inside the cabins and the harsh environment actively tearing the site apart. Even though nothing paranormal happens, the tension is real, fueled entirely by the absolute isolation, the unstable, snowy terrain, and the constant danger of the rotting buildings collapsing around him. The video is from Camp Life Bushcraft, a UK channel focused on lightweight hiking, bushcraft camping, and testing outdoor gear during short trips. It takes place on July 31st, 2021 in a public woodland area in the United Kingdom. The trip starts late in the evening. After crossing open fields, the two campers enter the woods looking for a quiet place to camp before it gets dark. The purpose of the trip is simple: testing lightweight gear for a future long-distance hike. As they move deeper into the forest, the surroundings begin to change. The paths become narrower, the vegetation gets thicker, and visibility drops under the tree cover. Once daylight starts fading, it becomes hard to see more than a few meters ahead.
There's a little bit of this. Alright, where are you?
I'm just getting all the big sort of twigs off the ground so it doesn't punch at the bottom of the tent.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of familiarising myself with the terrain.
We were just saying this is quite a spooky woodland.
Quite spooky as F, mate. I'm a bit spooked out.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's well, the owls were hooting and there's like weird sort of what's that predator noise coming through the woods?
Woodpeckers. Predator noise. This is a bit of a spooky woodland, but it's good. I think it's very overgrown, very enclosed. We just found a little opening. I mean, I scoped this place out a few weeks back and it was quite open and quite pleasant, but now we're in here and it's sort of summer and it's grown right.
Darkness fully covers the campsite as they keep organizing their gear, preparing food, and setting up their sleeping area. The woods around them become almost impossible to see through, which shapes the atmosphere of the night. The limited visibility and constant background sounds from the forest create a steady sense of tension.
It's close, it's imposing. It's just surrounded by thick foliage in all directions, which is nice. It's kind of what I wanted, but at the same time, I mean, it's still light outside. You can see the sky just about through there. It's not dark yet, but yeah. Spooky, man.
After briefly leaving the campsite, one of the campers becomes temporarily disoriented while walking back through the thick vegetation. With no clear landmarks visible, it becomes difficult to judge direction until the tents finally come back into view through the trees.
Down tools and packed our gear away because the tents are reasonably dry at the moment. So I'm going to leave it there, I think. To be honest, it's I'm done with the filming for now. We're going to walk back in a minute. I'm just going to tidy this area up behind me, like what he's doing. Can you see him there? Can you see him raking? Leave no trace is the mantra. So yeah, I've got my little patch of ground to sort out, a couple of bits to put away, aeroplane to ignore, and then we're off. Rob, it was lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you, buddy.
You're in, yep. He never does it for me.
No.
No, I
I'll
don't.
do.
He'll go, I'm out with me mate. That's it, doesn't say anything. Nothing about my channel. No help plugging in.
I don't want to lose any more subscribers to you, do I?
But yes, it was good to be out with Rob again. So thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up would be appreciated. All that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm very glad you don't put that stupid bell in that when you go, oh Roger, like, subscribe, ding, and you think, why do people do that?
As they start packing up the campsite, rain suddenly begins to fall. The calm pace quickly turns urgent as they rush to protect their gear and take down the setup before the weather gets worse. The experience is driven more by atmosphere than by any major event. The dense forest, poor visibility, and isolation become more intense once darkness and surrounding sounds take over. Nothing paranormal or dangerous happens, but the woodland creates a constant feeling of tension because of how enclosed it feels at night. The video is from Mandog Wild, a UK channel focused on solo camping, survival skills, and investigating unusual wildlife activity in remote woodland areas. It takes place on October 1st, 2023, in a remote forest in the United Kingdom. The expedition begins when large animal footprints are found in wet mud along a forest track. The prints stand out because of their size and shape, especially the lack of claw marks. This detail shifts the assumption away from animals like dogs or foxes towards something more like a cat. From that point, the camp is approached with the idea that a larger predator could be in the area.
So, yeah, it's definitely a bed area for something. It's not small either. So in India, in big cat country, many people in high-risk areas will actually wear a mask on the back of their head.
The tension reaches its highest point during the last night while he is inside a low-profile bivvy setup. Sudden heavy movement pushes through the bushes near the camp, loud enough to clearly tell its direction and size. Nothing is seen, but the force of the movement strongly contrasts with the otherwise quiet forest.
Vulnerable position. Whereas a tent, at least you could sit up in a tent. But yeah, right now, just feeling a little vulnerable. But best idea for camouflage, being that it's low lying, but yeah, not for vulnerability.
He later gives an update from inside the bivvy, explaining how exposed it feels. The main issue is that the setup keeps him almost on the ground, with very little barrier between him and anything moving outside in the dark. The tension builds slowly instead of coming from one incident. Tracks, disturbed gear, and movement near the camp. Nothing is ever clearly seen, and nothing directly comes close or attacks. The feeling comes from repeated signs that something large is nearby, and in the end, it's less about identifying it and more about how close it seems without being visible. This footage comes from Ants Survive the Night, a British wild camping channel highlighting lightweight backpacking and solitary overnights. On April 29th, 2026, the crew sets up at the Moorland campsite within the West Pennine Moors. The atmosphere is shaped right away by a World War II crash site located just over the crest of the hill. Combined with the biting cold, vast open landscape, and absence of shelter, this historical backdrop injects an immediate sense of somber unease into the expedition before they even pitch their tents.
Welcome to this video. We are up on the beautiful West Pennine Moors. And yeah, it's a special one actually. It's something that I only found out about really recently. I never even knew that this existed. Yeah, the crash site of a P-51 Mustang American fighter. So I cannot wait to show you.
The narrative temporarily shifts back to basic survival tasks as the hikers pitch their shelters and test out a new tent configuration in sub-zero temperatures. However, the vast, barren landscape of the moorland ensures a constant feeling of vulnerability. With no wind or ambient noise, the stark emptiness stretches out into the horizon in all directions. Once darkness fully envelops the site, they settle into their evening routine and begin preparing dinner. At this point, the absolute stillness of the moors takes over, marked by a total absence of breeze or movement.
And we've probably picked the best weekend to come out and check out the ultralight tents again. So order of the day is to get a brew and then get down to the crash site and have a look at this amazing place.
Arriving at the wreckage, the mood shifts dramatically. The hikers stand in silent reflection, paying their respects to the pilot who lost his life at the site. There is no forced drama, only a profound quietness. The total absence of wind or activity across the barren moors makes the air feel thick and heavy, amplifying the somber history of the ground beneath them. This entire excursion relies on environment and mood rather than a traditional scare. It weaves together freezing temperatures, an exposed landscape, and a tragic historical backdrop to create a deep sense of solitude. While no threats emerge during the night, the crushing silence and the reality of the tragedy give the entire trip an underlying gravity. Ultimately, the overnight stay feels less like a battle against nature and more like a quiet vigil inside a landscape permanently marked by the past. The video is from Suffolk Camper, a UK-based solo camping channel focused on stealth overnights in remote countryside spots, often mixing real camping with a strong atmospheric and psychological tone. It takes place on April 28, 2026 at St. Mary the Virgin's Church in Clopton, Suffolk, United Kingdom. As night fully sets in, the camper leaves the tent and walks deeper into the graveyard. He mentions that even though he has camped in cemeteries before, this one feels heavier than the others. The tension starts early, even before anything happens. The churchyard grows quieter, visibility drops, and attention shifts toward the older Gothic parts of the site.
Torch went out, hang on. Oh, what's going on? Here we go. Here we have another. This place seems so much friendlier during the day, but when it's lights out, it gets a bit spookier. See, I can't read any of these. Nice flowers though. These haven't been tended to for many years. These are people long forgotten about. Probably been decades.
Later, while standing in the stone porch of the church, he knocks on the locked wooden door and waits for an answer. None comes back. The silence that follows becomes the main point, as the stillness of the building gives the feeling that something could be present behind the door.
Really quite strongly. I wasn't here before. I can really suddenly smell like manure. Really quite strongly. There's my tent. Maybe there's a farmer spreading muck like late at night or something. I don't know. But anyhow, I'm going to put this away and I'll see you guys soon, alright? I'll see you in a bit. Hey, how's it going?
Back at the campsite, a strong smell suddenly spreads through the area without warning. It hadn't been there before, and its sudden arrival is noticeable in the otherwise still surroundings.
Something. Definitely feel creeped out around here sometimes. I just want to check around with the torch actually. Could have sworn I heard something. Maybe I'm just being paranoid.
The focus here is mainly on mood and how things are perceived. It moves from isolation into darkness, then issues with equipment, and finally changes in the environment. Nothing is clearly visible, and nothing turns into a direct incident. The tension builds because the surroundings become increasingly unclear as the night goes on. In the end, the unease comes less from the graveyard itself and more from the feeling of being exposed once visibility and certainty begin to fade. The video is from Graham's Wild Camping, a UK channel focused on practical woodland camping, tarp shelters, fire cooking, and real overnight outdoor experiences. It takes place on January 12th, 2024, in a remote woodland in northeast England. The trip starts with Graham moving into a hidden campsite after being invited by a fellow wanderer. The forest is immediately shown as tough terrain, with thick trees, fallen logs, and narrow paths that slow movement. The deeper he goes into the woods, the more isolated everything feels.
The way I've come in, the directions I had, honestly, I can't believe anybody would ever find this camp. It was so difficult, full of downed trees and scrambling up and over and squeezing through gaps. So it's a pretty...
As daylight starts to fade, they begin focusing on time instead of exploring. With visibility dropping, the forest gets harder to move through, and finding a good spot for camp becomes more difficult. The priority quickly shifts to setting up shelter before it gets fully dark.
Cozy once I'm in my sleeping bag, but sitting around that fire cracking on with the lads, me hands and feet are getting really cold, but Adrian's given us these chemical hand warmers, so it's about 7:30 now, so apparently they last about 8-10.
Getting ready for sleep becomes physically uncomfortable as the cold gets stronger during the night. The woodland stays quiet and still, and the main challenge shifts to dealing with freezing conditions rather than the setting itself. Isolation and winter exposure shape the experience, with difficult access, fading daylight, and low overnight temperatures. Nothing significant occurs, but the environment steadily adds pressure throughout the camp. By morning, it feels less like an adventure and more like a reminder of how demanding a simple woodland overnight can be when cold and terrain work against the campers. This clip comes from the UK paranormal channel Moxley's Paranormal World, which follows a solo camper spending the night in creepy, remote woods. It's late April 2026, and he's heading back to a forest where weird stuff has happened to him before, so he's already on edge. Before setting up camp, he carefully checks the area to avoid falling branches or dangerous terrain, and then strings up tripwire perimeter alarms around the site just in case.
Because it definitely looks big enough. Yeah, it's going to be big enough here. And even if it's not, we'll make it big enough. I keep looking around because I don't feel like I'm the only person here, and I possibly ain't the only person here. Because what time are we at? 8 o'clock in the evening. It's a gorgeous day as well. This ground's really soft. Isn't it great just listening to the wildlife as you're setting up? It's one of the main reasons why I actually love coming out doing these ones. Yeah, okay, you've got the stories of the...
Before it gets completely dark, he checks out some strange log structures nearby that look like they were intentionally built, though it's unclear by whom. As he goes back to setting up camp, the woods get eerily silent. He suddenly spots a weird reflection shifting between the trees, forcing him to keep double-checking the area. While he can't quite make out what it is, the movement makes it feel like something is deliberately keeping its distance while watching him.
It was like a thud. Just here. Is there someone else here with me? If there is, come forward, come and speak to me. Or show yourself. Show yourself on the camera. Maybe come and show me what you look like. Don't know who I'm speaking to. Let's go over this side. Alright, I've just turned the spirit talker back on. Let's go for a walk.
3. Forgive my sins.
3. Forgive my sins. Well, what did you...
1,840.
1,840. 1840s. Leg. There's something...
My name is Raymond.
Raymond? Is that what we just got in the tent as well? Raymond?
I'm always watching.
You always watching, are you?
Kelsey.
What are you always watching? Are you watching people who come out here doing the photographer? Now the strangest thing is, this place is supposedly full of wildlife, like deers and all sorts.
May I touch you?
No, you cannot touch me.
I've been trapped here.
You've been trapped here. And the thing is, earlier on, we've seen deer tracks.
Suddenly, more reflections pop up deeper in the woods, meaning he now has to keep an eye on multiple directions instead of just one. The trees make it impossible to tell how far away they are, which only adds to the confusion. As he walks, the reflections never actually get close, but they keep appearing right ahead of him or off to the side, making it feel like whatever it is tracking him from a distance.
It could have been a plane, and it's just the angling, looking up at it. But anyway, I need to get myself a quick cup of coffee, pack this tent away. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, turn on post notifications. A new video is up every single Wednesday. Don't forget to smash that like as well, guys. It really is appreciated. And head over, hit the hype button.
Out of nowhere, one of his camp alarms goes off, but a quick sweep of the area turns up absolutely nothing, marking the first real breach of his campsite. Soon after, he hears muffled rustling and movement right at the perimeter, but another search leaves him empty-handed yet again. The whole video thrives on this eerie persistence rather than big jump scares, building tension through constant movement, shifting reflections, and close encounters that are never fully seen. Because nothing is ever identified or truly goes away, the night ends in total, unsettling uncertainty. The video is from Fell Wanderer, a UK-based channel focused on solo wild camping, woodland exploration, stealth camping, and realistic overnight survival trips. It takes place on February 18th, 2015, in a remote forest in the United Kingdom. The trip starts with him returning to a woodland area to move gear from an older summer camp to a new hidden spot. From the beginning, the forest is damp and misty. As he goes deeper, the woodland gets quieter, and the paths start disappearing behind him. Visibility becomes shorter through the trees, and the setting changes from open countryside into a more closed, isolated environment. He also mentions a nearby water source and an earlier reported footprint in the area, which adds a sense of tension before the camp is even set up.
There's nothing, is there, apart from the odd sound of a bird. I mean, there's no wind, it's misty, it's cold and it's damp. You know, and I'm on my own, so what could be better than spending the afternoon when there's only a couple hours left before it gets dark in a creepy, spooky forest on my own.
While they help with navigation, they also show how big the forest really is. Long, empty stretches are surrounded by thick trees on both sides.
How eerie is that? It doesn't take much to freak you out. It's great, you know, when it's like this, it's light, and you can see what you're doing. It's just a different story once the sun goes down. And I'll just show you where my camp is, or where I will be camping.
He reaches a nearby stream and starts talking about water filtration and basic survival needs. The water looks very dirty from forest runoff, so he has to use a portable filter before it can be used at the campsite.
Hard soaked in wax as a backup. Got some dry lint, jute twine, chalk-cloth, and I've got my new flint striker. And I've got a bit of rubber candle and a lighter just in case. As a backup, you always have more than one way of lighting a fire. And this is my favourite method for starting a fire at the minute.
The fire eventually stabilizes using wet wood from the forest along with extra tinder. With warmth and cooking now possible, the camp starts to function properly for the first time, even though the environment is still damp and difficult.
Gravity fed system. Take that off. And a little bit of the dirty water has gone down. You've got to be so careful not for the dirty water to touch the clean end. But it's just to try it out really the day. I've got lots of water with me. I don't even need to drink this water. But I will for the sake of the video. So what I'll do is I'll take that cap off and I'll see what it's like, see how it filters through, whether it runs a bit clearer or stays the same. I really like being here on my own. But as it's getting dark, I'm getting more anxious. And you know, a lot of it's all in the mind, you know. It's all about the psychology of survival that they talk about. You can have all the skills in the world, but if your mind's not up to it, that could be more, but I could say we only live once. We're all going to die eventually, and you know, what happens if I die a few years earlier than what I planned on doing or unplanned on doing? Do I want to go a little bit earlier? Do I want to risk dying earlier by coming here?
The most intense part comes when he reflects on how exposed he is to sleep alone in such a remote area. Once it gets dark and nothing can really be seen, the forest feels completely different from it did during the day. The situation is shaped mainly by solitude and mood, with fog, quiet surroundings, and distance from any settlement. As night arrives, the sense of pressure increases, even though nothing unusual or threatening occurs. The setting gradually feels heavier as darkness builds, and in the end, the unease comes more from being entirely alone there than from anything physical in the forest. This spooky clip comes from Man Dog Wild, a UK outdoor adventure channel that covers solo wilderness trips, bushcraft, and overnight stays in remote forests. It's April 11th, 2026, and things start totally normal at his secluded campsite as he sets up his cooking gear, bed, and tarps for a multi-day stay. However, the vibe starts to shift as rain begins rolling across the valley.
Video. For the past 2 nights, there's been this sound of rocks clacking together. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone hitting rocks together or something like that. And it's just, well, behind the tent here. If you see the Yezder, she's actually sitting in front of where the sound comes from. Now, she doesn't go in there. She won't go in there. Both nights, I've woken up to see her awake, and then we hear the noise. She'll come outside and she'll sit there just like that.
A creepy pattern starts repeating over several nights when a distinct rock clacking sound echoes from the thick woods behind the tent at almost the same time each evening. The predictability is what makes it so unsettling, but the brush is way too dense for him to safely go check it out. His dog, Yeti, completely changes her behavior too. Instead of wandering around like usual, she refuses to go near that part of the woods and just sits frozen, staring intently into the dark for hours.
Well, as you see, it's so thick in here, it's almost impossible to get in. And the Yezder don't want nothing to do with it, which is extremely strange. So I tried to look in there yesterday, and again, I couldn't find any way in, but no, obviously nothing's changed today.
He tries to get a visual on what's making the noise, but the rough terrain and terrible visibility make it impossible to head into the trees. With no path, zero line of sight, and the light fading fast, pushing deeper just isn't safe, leaving the whole situation completely unresolved.
It's just one of those that kind of lures us in and takes us out, because where is the Yezder? There's Yeti. Yezder, what are you doing, mate? Nappy Wilson, Nappy Wilson. We got something screaming at us just up there and you're sitting there? What's going on? Who's out, prison? Senny Isson. Senny Isson.
The tension breaks when a fox wanders near camp and Yeti immediately bolts after it into the pitch-black woods. Suddenly, a loud, scream-like noise echoes from deep within the trees, completely cutting the chase short. With no way to tell what made that terrifying sound, the situation instantly flips from a normal wildlife encounter to total panic over what else might be lurking out there.
That was like a big thud. just outside the tent. And that was closer than over there. It's been a couple of minutes. Haven't heard anything else, so you know, there's many times I get up.
Overnight, heavy rain completely takes over, forcing his focus back onto just surviving the storm and staying dry inside the shelter. By morning, there's absolutely no physical evidence left behind, leaving the repeating noises, the scream, and the close-range scare totally unexplained. The whole ordeal builds tension through repetition and proximity, relying on patterned sounds, the dog's weird behavior, a failed investigation, and a sudden nearby disturbance without ever showing a monster. In the end, the forest leaves him with nothing but pure uncertainty, making it terrifying not because of what he saw, but because of what kept lurking just out of sight. A man explored an old traveler's inn, once bustling with weary guests, now completely in ruins. Dust-covered furniture and broken fixtures filled the hallways, and a silence so heavy it felt alive hung in the air. Beyond the decay, a strange, almost paranormal energy surrounded him like static. Armed only with a camera and curiosity, he ventured into the darkness, each creaking floorboard and flickering light amplifying the dread, until he reached a room where the supernatural seemed to start revealing itself. The room's atmosphere is deeply unsettling, radiating an icy tension that makes it feel like the air itself knows it's being watched. He leaves his camera recording, hoping to catch any paranormal activity. Hours pass without incident, until suddenly, the camera records a movement that defies all explanation. The chair cushions gradually sink, as though an invisible presence has taken a seat, leaving a stunned realization that something otherworldly occupies the room. The source of this strange activity remains unknown. Whether a lingering spirit or a force beyond human understanding, no logical explanation has been found. The explorers enter carefully and quickly notice that the place might not be empty. Blankets, scattered belongings, strange sounds, and dark corners make the whole motel feel tense and unsafe. As they move through the building, they find old photos from the 1980s to the 2000s, tight hallways, rooms with outside access, and a ruined kitchen that shows signs of its past life. Junior explains that the motel slowly declined as Albuquerque expanded and I-40 changed the flow of traffic, leaving the property abandoned and falling apart over time.
Oh, what the freak? There's no hole?
No.
Man, what the freak? Huh.
Oh, that for sure scared the heck out of me, bro. Oh, what the heck, man? Wait, why is there an air right here, bro? That makes no sense. To where? Wait, is that an? So now you didn't know? Look, I saw a shadow, bro. So I was like, I don't know if it's somebody or what is it. Oh, look, I think this was a church. Oh no, restaurant. Oh, look, a picture, bro. There's pictures right there. Huh. Huh. Hey, remember what we said the other time? If the walls could talk?
If the walls can talk, they can tell a story.
They could tell a lot of stories, bro. Oh, I just found a creepy picture, man. What the freak is that? What the freak? What is restroom? Oh shoot. No, I'm okay right now, bro. Thanks. Yeah.
All right, guys. So so what we heard, what we researched was that this used to be a big hotel back in the 80s. What happened was that I guess Albuquerque grew a lot more, and people didn't want to really stay here that much. I mean, Albuquerque's an hour away. What I had to do was just go all the way to Albuquerque and stay there instead of staying here.
The motel gives the explorers a strange mix of creepy and fascinating vibes. On one side, there are signs that people have recently been staying there, like trash, belongings, and personal items left behind. The sounds of footsteps and leaves moving around make everything feel more intense, but Junior makes it clear that whatever they're hearing is probably human, not paranormal. As they head toward another nearby motel, he talks about how places like this can tell powerful stories. Old photos, forgotten rooms, and leftover details show how the building went from a busy place full of guests to a quiet, decaying property. Even though it's small, the motel's history pulls them in, with every room revealing a piece of the past while they carefully move through dangerous, unstable areas.
Really?
I heard someone outside. Specific.
Like talking?
You know, like walking in a hallway, the beach crunch.
I think there is someone outside, bro. I think there is someone outside. Huh? I heard also like leaves on the outside, bro, like right here. I also heard like leaves right here. This is the other spot, guys. This is the other motel. That's the one we were just exploring. This is the one that we're just gonna go ahead and go in. This one, I don't really know the history about it because again, Google and stuff like that doesn't really bring out the stuff, the history about it. I think back in like when this thing was barely being built, the I-40 construction, that's when this had more stuff. We're gonna go ahead and see if this one has more. No, nothing. Dude, I swear I just heard something. I swear I just heard something. I swear I just no, like, bro, like not even playing around, bro.
During the exploration, the group becomes uneasy after noticing thrown objects, shadows, and strange sounds around the motel. The mix of history, mystery, and decay makes the place feel even more intense. Junior Ramirez and his team document the motel to capture both the excitement of exploring it and the condition of a site slowly falling apart with time. A man and woman went to explore an abandoned farm that locals claimed was extremely haunted and surrounded by frightening stories. They came prepared with proper equipment, hoping to capture anything unusual. According to the video description, they had visited the place before and had now returned with a new camera. They admitted they were still learning its settings, but said future recordings would have clearer footage, night vision, and stronger proof of the haunting.
Let's go.
Put this here.
All right.
As they stood in front of the camera and began recording, something frightening appeared behind them. For a split second, a dark figure showed up in the window, then vanished almost instantly.
Come on, you can see it clearly. Let's see, you can see it clearly.
The moment is so quick that most viewers miss it at first, but once the footage is slowed down, a ghost-like shape becomes much easier to spot. What makes it creepier is that neither of them noticed anything standing right behind them at the time. With better camera quality promised for future visits, this strange appearance felt like only the start of something much more terrifying. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.